Hi there, my name is Tommy English. We're coming to you from Molly's Gable here, the traditional starting place of the Dwa Pipe Band every St. Patrick's Day. And I'm here just to tell you a small bit about the Revalle tradition here that we have, where a group of people go out in the morning at 6 a.m. to wake up the band members just to make sure they're on time to be back here at Molly's at 8 a.m. for the march over to Pulla Church. The history behind the Revalle, it's a military concept, and it's used to this day to awaken the troops. And indeed, the Irish word for Revalle is dúiseacht, which means awakening. So in an Achill context, it was brought to light here during the War of Independence. And you have to remember, I suppose, around this time, Achill was a microcosm of the swirling political events, and indeed Scollachla was just formed around that time as well, and there was a whole nationalistic movement here in Achill. So at the time, the government at the time, the British government, decided there would be a ban on assembly, and much like today actually. So the priest at the time actually decided to move the mass from 11:30, which it usually was on St. Patrick's Day, to earlier, to 9 a.m. So once that news filtered back to the Dwa Fife Band at the time, who always marched over to Ducanella traditionally on St. Patrick's Day, they decided that they should send out the drum amór, the bass drum, around the village to awaken the members and to get them out and on the road in time for 9 o'clock mass in Ducanella. Because you have to remember, I suppose, there were no cars at this time really. There was very few cars, and it was a 3-mile march all the way over to Ducanella. So they were out at 6 a.m. beating the drum to make sure that everyone was out and ready to be on the road for mass at 9 a.m. So this is a tradition that's been adopted by all the pipe bands here in Achill. So the original bass drum that was used by the Dwa Fife and Drum Band was made by a cooper here in the village by the name of Tom Vesey. And then there was another one sent over from England, and that was known as the Accrington drum because it came from that place. And the drum that we have here today is dating back to at least the time of the beginning of the time of the pipe bands here in the 1940s. And fast forward to today, I'm just one of many people that has kept this tradition alive, and I'm honoured to do so. There's been so many people down through the years, and one notable person is John Dennis McNamara, who has travelled over from Wales every single year, and like many other people right across the world, to be back in Achill for St. Patrick's Day. Ironically, many people actually set their alarms at 6 a.m, well before 6 a.m, in order to hear the bass drum going through the village. And I've often heard it here in Molly's at 8 a.m. when we come back. You know, the first 3 kind of comments to people are, "Happy St. Patrick's Day, did you hear the Revalle this morning, and did you sign the book?" So for many people that have been away for St. Patrick's Day over the years, they've often actually said to me how emotional they are, first of all, and the one thing that they miss is hearing the bass drum, the big drum, going through the village at 6 a.m. And indeed, some notable people in the village have said that they woke up at 6 a.m. on the button and thought they could hear the big drum, but then they came to the realisation that they weren't in their beloved Achill for the day. So it's a nice story to hear, I suppose, but it is emotional for all those that can't be with us for St. Patrick's Day.